So I think another really interesting area to talk about now is who's going to tell our stories. So that idea of PR no longer just being about, I was going to say the double page spread, but let's start with that because it's an interesting place to start. Judi, why, so the double page spread is like the pinnacle, nirvana. Why has it still got so much power?
So if you look at our Google Analytics and see where our traffic comes from for Another Place hotels particularly, you'll see an article from The Telegraph that was written 3.5, I'm looking at Heidi, 3.5, 4 years ago, that's delivering today traffic to our site. So that came from a double page spread written in the first week that we were open, that then went online. Interesting, gets updated on a regular basis. Thank you very much, The Telegraph, for doing that for us. With a link to our, backlink to our website, and that authority that they have, the visibility they have, is delivering a new audience to us today, and I can show direct conversion to sales from that. So, chasing print, yes, chasing print for print's sake, no, but chasing the right print for the online versions, absolutely, and incredibly important. You also just remember that the journalists that we're talking about here are A-list journalists who, as advocates and ambassadors in their own right, have individual authority and influence. So there's lots of reasons still to be focused on that A-list broadsheet.
Do you think it's the fact that it goes digital, which is why it's got the value now?
It's an incredibly important element of what we're thinking about, yes. Yeah.
And what about the board?
Oh. Do you know what? That almost came out of my mouth before you said it.
Because we all know what the board wants.
I think the visibility, newspaper visibility, is still incredibly important, and the value of being able to show those. Yes, of course, there's an internal communications piece, but a double-page spread, it's lovely to have, isn't it? But actually, most of us will read that article online.
Sure.
And the wonderful thing about an online version is it can be corrected. Thank you very much. Whereas something in print
But there is still something so special about getting print coverage, isn't there?
Absolutely.
And do you guys get that sense of excitement when you land it?
Oh, huge. I remember we did the Watergate feature for the Telegraph magazine. It was Neil on the front.
Yes.
Yes, and that was with Rose Prince. That was amazing. And you felt that's what we've been working for.
Yeah, and it takes months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's months in the making. I mean, the online equivalence, it's still months in the making. But if I dare say it, with double page spreads, seeing as we're talking about it, I do often feel, yes, I mean, they can be the kind of things that it can sell your business, as in, like, you can show it to people. It sells our business. We can say, look, aren't we great PRs? But often they can be also ego pieces.
Sure.
So when you talk about the board, yes, it makes people feel good, like this is where I'm spending my money. But you could definitely have a whole argument about is that actually shifting? Is that shifting sales, or is it the online version which is actually making is that the bit that's shifting the dial? And actually, funny enough, I was talking about kind of travel PR. You'll often see in the kind of the weekend, or in the dailies, it'll have like the little columns, and it'll have probably like 5 things, book now, do this. And actually, those are often the bits that have huge amount of kind of results. We can have a client call up and go, oh my God, that one, we've had 5 bookings off the back of that. Because actually, it's much easier to read than a double page spread, because you're looking again, God, that's beautiful, but I'm not going to read it. What people do read are those little nuggets.
Sure.
So it's complementary. You're going for the big ones because that's your big kind of hero piece. Going to have that lovely long tail piece online, but those kind of quick wins are then there. So it's the whole package.